officially done. I actually really like this time of year. Let me know if that's weird. But I actually really like... I was telling my wife the other day, I think my favorite day of the year is the day after Christmas. Because it's like all of the... Especially the older I get, the more work we put into Christmas, right? Because we're parents, so we have to be the ones to supply that Christmas magic that we remember having as a kid. And so you tend to get really worn out, a lot more worn out than I thought. And so when Christmas is done, you're kind of relieved. You're not like bah humbug about it, you know? Nobody wants Christmas to be done per se, but it is a relief. I'd be lying if I didn't say it wasn't a large relief to be done with Christmas. You know, and that day after Christmas, everybody gets to sit down and play with their toys that they got, you know. One of my favorite things is anything I get for Christmas that involves me being able to set up. I like setting things up. I like setting up my office. I like setting up, I got this Stream Deck for Christmas, so I like setting up all of those. I love having to have rearranged my desk in order to accommodate things like that. I loved moving this table over and figuring out how to set up the stream. I almost like it more than the actual stream itself. I like the setup. So, you know, that's how I feel about Christmas too. Things kind of get back to like, okay, we need to get things set up again for the year. And that can mean taking down the Christmas tree. We do take down the Christmas tree like really early, like the day after Christmas. Is this there? We take it down the day after Christmas, and you know, that's just, it's a good feeling. I think we've had it up for a long time. It was up since before Thanksgiving, quite a long time for us. And so it was time for it to come down, and then you get to see the whole house just kind of level set back to normal, back to I don't know how to say it, just back to normal. I guess that's the only, you know, as I say back to normal though, a lot of people who are resistant to that are like, no, I can't let things go back. They hold on to things like Christmas, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. If you want to hold on to Christmas all year long in your heart, you go for it. You do what you want to do. That is fine. But for me, there's something about that fresh start, and I've always gravitated towards New Year's as well, even though I don't really do anything on New Year's. But just that feeling of like, I get to start new. It's neat. And whenever I run into a problem at work, an issue in my job, an issue with, you know, some program or some task I'm doing is not working the way that it should, I find that a lot of times I scrap it and start over. And maybe that's a waste of time sometimes, but I find that starting over gives me a better perspective on things, and I usually figure out what the problem is when that happens. So, that being said, that's why I like the day after Christmas. It's why I kind of like Christmas coming to an end. Not because I'm bah humbug. I used to apologize for it and be like, no, you know, I'm kind of happy Christmas is done. And I even tell my wife that, I'm like, you know, I don't mean this in the way that you're probably going to take it, but I'm really looking forward to Christmas being over. And usually she judges me for that. She doesn't. But this year, you know, she said, I think I get what you mean. I think I understand what you mean by, you want Christmas to be done, but it doesn't mean you hate Christmas. It just means you want to get on to what's next. And hopefully in 2021, we're on to some good things that are next. But realistically, we're on to some stuff that's still going to be a challenge and still going to be hard for all of us. Probably guaranteed to be hard times ahead. But you still get a fresh start. You still get to get things back to square one. Maybe normal is not the right word. Maybe square one is the right word. Where you get to try it all over again. Fresh start. I am sorting now. Sorry. I got lost in my sorting. I feel much more motivated to make the right choices and do the right things when I get to have a moment like that, or a moment where I just kind of put a line in the sand and realize that I am gonna start over. I am gonna try, you know. And I like being able to do that. I like being able to have a new start. And I think that can be every day too. It doesn't have to be New Year's. It can be like whatever you want it to be. Every day is a new start. You can, I like to rearrange this office a lot, probably too much. But whenever I do move stuff around and I come back in and I look at it and I think, I have this satisfaction in my head of like, cool, like this looks nice. It looks fresh. I feel more creative already when I do that. Where do these go? Now we're right here. I feel more creative when that happens. And I know it's all up here, right? It's all a mental game. Sure. But everything is a mental game. Everything. After all the work is done, it's just time to relax and enjoy that time. Yep, exactly. And so for someone like a parent who does a lot of that work, and then it's time to be like, it feels good. It does. It feels really good. And I think we need that. I need that. Okay. Enjoying the fruits of your labor, as they call it. Relax and enjoy the time. Yeah. That's, and the, you know, to bring it all back to Christmas, favorite day's the day after Christmas, but then honestly, like my favorite week is like the week after Christmas. Like right now, because it's Friday, still got a weekend ahead of me. I do know I'm gonna get back to work on Monday, and you know, be somewhat sad about that. But even in that, I have a fresh start. I have a new month, not only a new month, but a new year. Things will be different. Things will be as different as I want them to be. You know. I'm probably waxing nostalgic about it because I am actually starting a new job probably around the 15th of January. So I'm in kind of a transition phase. So that's another reason why I feel this feels like a good time to kind of take stock and sit back and relax and recharge because there is a new start coming for me. Pretty big start too. An interesting way to look at things. I'm glad you think so. You know, it's not quite the same as people who do like New Year's resolutions. I'm not a big New Year's resolution guy. But I understand why people do them. I really do. There's a psychological aspect to the thought of a fresh start. And really, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you started yesterday or started today. Like, the position of the sun in the sky doesn't really have anything to do with anything, you know? So many people were already in 2021 before it hit our time zone. So it doesn't really mean anything, but it gives people the feeling of a fresh start and of a way for them to say that, hey, I can start over. I can act like, well, that was 2021 or that was 2020. So now that it's 2021, things can be better. And it doesn't mean things won't have a struggle. 2021 is going to be... ...2021 is going to be wild. Let's just say that. It's going to be wild. It's not going to be easy. I think there's still some stuff that is going to be coming down our way that we're going to have to deal with, but that's no different than any other year, you know? That could always happen. There's always going to be something coming to challenge us. Hopefully, it is not something that's challenging us like the coronavirus. Hopefully. I really do hope that. But we got a long way before this is all done. So you got the balance. And that balance is understanding that you have a fresh start, that you can feel that way, and that's okay and that's valid. You can feel like excited and kind of recharged that like, hey, I hit the reset button on things. But if you think that just because you hit the reset button that things are gonna like magically be better, that's not gonna happen. I don't think a lot of people think that. I think they think of it the way that I do, where it's like, no, it's nothing magical. It's just a psychological way of saying we're leaving those things behind us and we're going to try to be better this year. That's all that people are doing. I mean, I don't think many people are taking it much further than that. And that's a good thing. So if you made like a New Year's resolution, like, I think that's just fine. In fact, it's probably a good thing, and probably you're a better person than I am for doing it. I think it's a good thing. I don't know if I've ever made a New Year's resolution that I really... I'm sure I've made some, but I don't think I've made any that I've kept. But I always just have a sense about it. I don't ever sit down and write it down. Maybe I should. Of just, you know, I want to read some more books. I have a whole stack of books right here. Right here. Whole stack of books. That... Right there. That I'd like to get through, and I've just been putting it off. And so while I might not write that down as like, this is my New Year's resolution, that's loud. I will still kind of keep that in my head of like, hey, this is something that I want to do this year. Something I want to keep. I really want to, this year especially, one, I want to read more books because I think that's going to give me a better, hopefully a better understanding of what's going on in this world with people specifically. 'Cause I feel like I know what I believe. I understand it up here. But I have a hard time, especially the last 4 years, in convincing other people that the way that they're seeing things is like wrong. You know, and definitely part of that is I need to be willing to look at myself and understand that maybe I'm not right about everything, which is true and good. But I need to be able to talk to people and get them to see my side, not to be some kind of like, I don't know what you'd call it, keyboard warrior. Like, I'm not going to take to Facebook and start telling people what to believe and all that. But I want to be able to be prepared for when people I care about, when people are ready to have those critical conversations about, like, just the fact that our nation is going crazy over the stupidest stuff. I want to be prepared with facts and data and all that to kind of back up what I know, but also maybe to change my perspective on things too. I don't want to just read things that will just say the things I already agree with, you know. But maybe the more that I understand, like, why I believe certain things or why certain things are not true, maybe the easier it'll be for me to handle when I see people spouting those things off, you know. I'll be able to kind of mentally be able to say, okay, you know, I know that this person's wrong and here's why, instead of just like, I feel like they're wrong but I don't have the words to say it, or I don't have the mental capacity to try to convince them otherwise. So that's kind of some of the stuff I want to work on in the new year. Oh, this is a Christmas song right here. Yeah. Nice. I like it. That's some of the stuff I want to work on this year. I just want to be prepared, if that makes sense. And also to be able to teach my kid those things at the same time, you know. Not yet, probably, because he's still like 1.5, but you know what I mean. All right. Man, we are right on time. I think that is going to be it. We're going to pack the rest of this away for now. Thank you for joining. We've had a good almost coming up on 2 hours now. I figured this would probably take me anywhere between 3 to 4 hours, so probably on the next stream we will finish this bad boy, and we'll find a spot for it right by the Stormtrooper helmet right there.